thinking about it.
All right. Hey, guys. Happy New Year's 2026. It's a half hour horror with me, Aaron McLean. My co host, producer, as usual. Oh, hey, it's Chase. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I am doing great. I'm excited about today.
Oh,
First
me
episode
too.
of 2026. 2025 was an awesome year. Had a lot of awesome people on, and it's not going to be any different in 2026 as we're kicking off 2025 with an awesome guest.
Oh, my gosh. It's unbelievable to have Tina Romero here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my God, you guys, this is the way I want to kick off my 2026. I'm so psyched to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
And for those of us who are tuning in, for our audience, happy 2026, y'all. Welcome to the new year. We are so excited to bring you guys awesome stuff. This is a pre-record because schedules. Tina's a very busy person, a DJ, a filmmaker, a multi-hyphenate across the board of all things that you could possibly do. But we're so excited. Obviously, I'm just going to go out and say it. The daughter of horror royalty, George Romero, who we have talked about on our show many times, but an accomplished filmmaker in your own right, who just took a stab at the zombie genre last year with Queens of the Dead, which you had way too much fun making that movie. Like,
we had a little fun, yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a cast! First of all,
cast. It's it's all about the cast. This movie is a cast first movie, if you ask me. Every single one of them was a dream to work with. I keep saying, like, all queens, no divas on set. And you know, they're why we had fun, because this shoot was a slog. Okay. It was a hard movie to make.
Low budget horror always is.
It's always a bit of a shit show. And it was the height of a historic heat wave. We were shooting in Paterson, New Jersey, in a warehouse with no windows, blackout curtains. Like, we were drenched in sweat. Crew members were passing out. But Nina West was like, I'm fine. And she's in the most drag. She's in the huge wig, padding, makeup. And she was like, I'm good. What's wrong? I'm good. No. And it kind of set the bar, you know? And Julie J too. Oh my God. Julie J was not only in drag, she was in zombie prosthetics. She was like, they were just unbelievable. So funny, so professional, so down to get dirty. It was a family style shoot, which, you know, that's how my dad did it too. But it's not like I was like, oh, I'm going to go do exactly what my dad did. It just turned out to be another family style shoot. And we ate meals together, and the cast and the crew, they were on a first name basis, which is very special, and not often the case in this industry. And it was really a beautiful experience. And, you know, now that the baby is out and in the world, it's like all of the hard shit really falls away, and you're just like, oh my God, mostly it's good memories that remain, and I'm grateful for that. And it's amazing.
That's the thing. You can go back and you look at movies like this that were really, you know, you put them on your back, you carry them through the blood, sweat, and tears of a scrappy production, and you can look back at that moment. You're like, that day it got up to 103, and you have a great story. And, you know, the fact that people can still be pro and still have a good time when the elements are against you, the time is against you. That really is what I respect from cast members, from crew members, because there's too many times when somebody's like, well, it's an hour past the time we said we were going to start.
I'm done.
I'm going to leave. Yeah, I'm out. And it's like, we're a team here.
And like, I just want to shout out Katie O'Brien for a second, because Katie O'Brien, who I'm so grateful she said yes to doing this. I wrote to her. A large part of this pre-production process for me was all about writing letters. I wrote so many letters to so many people trying to get them to say yes. And it was a lot of no's. And then I got a magical yes from Dominique Jackson. She was my first magical yes.
Really?
What a magical yes to get, because Dominique Jackson is a legend. She's an icon. She is like so meaningful to the queer community. And so when people see her name attached, I think they give it a little bit more consideration. And so thank you, Dominique Jackson, for being my magical yes. And Katie O'Brien, and actually she engaged too early on before Love Lies Bleeding, because, like these things go, we had a couple false starts. Oh, no, not yet. Okay, we got to get more money. Oh, not yet.
Yeah.
So, there was attachments happening. By the way, this project has been in the works for almost a decade. It took me that long to get this sled up the mountain. But, Katie O'Brien and I connected maybe 3.5 years ago. And then Love Lies Bleeding came out. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to be good for me now. She's not going to want to do it. And I wrote her another letter and I was like, please still be in my movie. And she said yes, but she was shooting Mission Impossible at the same fucking time. And so my producer, Matt Miller, was like tirelessly on the phone with the team over at Mission Impossible, trying to like get an answer. And we were down to like 2 weeks before shoot and we didn't have a solid answer. And I was like, I don't care. I want her to gamble. I want to gamble on Katie. If we have to recast Dre at the 11th hour, we'll figure it out. Someone great exists in New York, but I want to roll the dice for Katie. And they ultimately made it work. And she flew back and forth between the UK and our production like 3 times, and I was so nervous because I knew that they had a smoothie truck over there and we had maybe some crumpled potato chips to give her, like it was just like in a way, it was like going between the glitter bitch party and the yum party and Queens of the Dead in the middle of nowhere, Jersey, where they were staying at like a Best Western across from the medieval times and a BP gas station, like there were no bells and whistles, but Katie O'Brien is salt of the earth, such a hard worker, takes her job very seriously. She asked me the most hard-hitting questions as an actor. She wanted to make sure all of her arc made sense. And not only that, she's playful, delightful, and just, I can't say enough wonderful things about her. And I could go on and on about every single one of these cast members for like a full hour. Every one of them is so special.
That was the thing, is like all of them got these great moments in the spotlight. All of them get like, there must be, I don't know how like, shooting, there's, you edit it down. There must be so many hilarious outtakes and lines that these queens are spitting, and they were just hysterical. And you don't know if it's in the script or if they just said it on a whim, but it really is funny, and that adds to the fun of it. Katie O'Brien's from my hometown, which I'm always excited about. Yeah,
Hoosiers. You Hoosiers are. I've never met a bad Hoosier. You all are. What is in the water over there? Because everybody is
lead.
Yeah.
No,
Aaron, I want to talk about that quickly, about the like balance of improv and script, because I think it's important when you're doing ensemble stuff, and like for filmmakers out there, like one of the things I really had to learn on this shoot was like, you can't always improv. Like you don't always have time to let people go off book, especially when you have an ensemble, because everyone's a ham and everyone's going to have ideas and everyone's going to want to do their bits. And I think like as a company, we had to sort of decide scene to scene, okay, we're sticking to the script. Okay, now you can play. And that's why so many of the improv lines are our buttons at the end of the scene, because like oftentimes we'd have to get everything in the can. It's a 1-camera shoot and like a 10-person cast. That you don't have time to cover everybody. So you can't do takes where you're like, okay, it's only on you, Katie. Do whatever you want. We had to swingle. We were on Steadicam the whole time, and we had to swingle to get our coverage and try to be as quick as we could. And so like by take 3, maybe we had it in the can, and then we would open it up and be like, okay, I'm going to not call cut, and you guys can go off book a little bit. And there's, like you said, the bloopers on the cutting room floor are just so plentiful. And it was really interesting, the dance that Aidan Hakimi, my fabulous editor, and I had to do, like, okay, is it a Barry button or is it a Kelsey button or is it a Dominique button? Because like, who do you want to give attention to? And that was an interesting dance to do, is like trying to not make it. We didn't want every joke to go to Barry. We didn't want every joke to go to Dominique. And so it's an interesting balance and an interesting dance. And I think, it can be, I think I thought going into this that I was going to let them improv a lot more. I was like, I'm going to have, and there just wasn't time. There's just not time. So that was a lesson for me, is like, you have to kind of plan your play, which is counterintuitive, but
That's some film school stuff right there. That's invaluable lessons that like really you don't know because like I don't know how many times people like, oh, we'll just do like a found footage thing. We'll just like improv it all. And it's like, no, you're not. No,
Yeah.
you're not. That's not what's gonna happen. We got you. That's a best laid plans in hell, and that's the quickest way to like sinking your movie.
Yeah.
So fun. The zombie walk in heels.
Oh.
How did somebody not break an ankle? Just like platform heels, stiletto heels, people zombie walking with kilted ankles. Did somebody get like, oh my gosh.
That's the thing about drag queens, honey. They have endurance and stamina and they wear heels all the time. And Julie J was like, at the end of the day, her feet hurt, but she was like, this is just like a gig.
Yeah.
You know, like a long gig. And she took the pain and the suffering, which she's familiar with, and kind of incorporated it into her zombie physicality. In the best way. And her physical comedy is so good. I just think Zombie Queen is like my favorite zombie ever now. It used to be Bub. Now Zombie Queen is top.
Amazing. Well, it was really fun to watch. And I have lots more questions, but Chase.
I'm so glad you would.
Yeah. One actor that I really enjoyed, because usually I've seen this actor in a lot of stuff and they kind of play more of like the stoic, kind of more grounded character. But this time they're playing a more silly, fun character. Jack Haven as Kelsey. I thought they were just absolutely phenomenal in their role.
What a brilliant performer and just like so full of creative energy. Kelsey was cast, and then the person cast as Kelsey had a conflict at the last minute, and so we had to recast Kelsey. And it was very important to me that Kelsey was a high femme character. I really wanted to represent the young, high femme women loving girls out there, you know, like the lesbians out there who are like, I am femme for, you know, like I am femme, but I love women. And Jack was still going by Bridget at the time, and their name came up and I was like, hell yes. However, I want to just make sure that they're okay with this as part of their gender journey, because I know that their gender journey doesn't align with Kelsey's. And we got on a call and I was like, are you down to shave your legs and like be super girly? And they were like, say less. I love to play a high femme girl. I have an alter ego character that I'll channel. She's a Russian drag queen. Like, you know, I'm saying she now because Kelsey is such a she. And I just think Jack, you know, Kelsey could have been a boring character easily, but Jack went a little unhinged and like ditzy, but also not, like took it weird more than ditzy. And I think like they talked to me about channeling a little bit of Barbara, you know, a little of the Barbara drama and a little bit of like, you know, this Russian queen, but like, you know, there's something going on in Kelsey's mind, but yet she plays it a little bit ditzy. It's just a perfect balance for me. And I think Kelsey is fucking hilarious. And it's all for me about the axe moment when I feel like people come around to Kelsey and start screaming like an animal. Like,
yeah, the axe in the leg is so great. And I also need to know, as a DJ, are you going to remix "Axe in My Leg," bleeding all over the floor? That needs a remix. That is the drop right there. Just silence and "Axe in my leg," bleeding all over the floor. Just like crack.
Erin Judge, my co-writer, my brilliant co-writer, she from the day she was on set that day. She was on set the day that we shot that, and it was scripted. That was scripted as Kelsey being on the floor singing "When the dog bites, when the axe stings." And and we're about to roll, and my producer's like, you know, you can't actually do that. We can't do Sound of Music. I was like, oh.
Yeah. A needle drop from Sound of Music's probably $50,000 easy.
And yeah, there's no music. And so I like go over to Jack and I was like, how do you feel about just riffing? And they were like, got you, no problem. And they did a couple different versions. That one, the one that's in there is their pop version, but there was like an old drunken Irish sailor song version of this. And they were all hilarious. The pop version is so good. And Erin Judge keeps saying like, we have to remix that track and put it out.
The second I heard that, I was like, I think a DJ could do something with this. This is a great song. It's catchy. It cut back and she's still singing it. I was like, this is fun. Zombie kills. Look, it is so
hard.
I mean, there's been a million zombie movies. There's been 11 years of a zombie TV show. They've killed zombies every single way. You got to come in and do something completely different because nobody comes into these spaces with zombies and gets to kill people with curling irons, disco balls, stiletto heels. That is so much fun. Corkscrews on shoes. Can you talk to me a little bit about planning those zombie kills and how you achieve those?
I'm so psyched that you clocked the corkscrew on the heel, on the shoe. That's so great because it's a quick shot. I from the beginning, the conceit for me was it's boring to kill zombies with guns. I don't care for me personally. I just think it's boring, and I wanted to also capture the spirit of the queer community, which is a very DIY, make it work shit. Nobody's got guns around here. Well, but what do we have? We got costumes, we got hot glue guns, we got all kinds of stilettos, we got curling irons, and I wanted to do DIY weaponry. Now, the reality of that, when you have no money and you have no time, is how do you pull this shit off safely? And it was so, I really, I have to just chalk it up to my prop master, Aaron Hodson, and my stunt coordinator, Drew Leary. They stuck with me all the way. I was like, I really don't want to lose the spirit of this. Like, how can we pull this off? We have no rehearsal time. We have no time. We had 2 days to shoot this battle scene. We've got extras. We've got stunts. And we just, we had our kill wish list, which was like curling iron, corkscrew to the eye, and Jaquel having his stiletto mace head. And all of these things, by the way, they had to be fabricated in stunt foam because we had all these extras around.
Yep.
And so Erin made her living room into a fabrication shop and created molds, all these molds of stiletto heels until she got the right texture. She made that corkscrew safe. And the curling iron was had a falsy top and oh my God, Turtleneck, who gets the curling iron, our big genius plan was that he was going to hit a vape really hard before we rolled and then exhale smoke out of his mouth. And he tells me that he's like, I've never taken a smoke of anything in my life. I was like, I'm so sorry. Are you down to do this? And we found him a 0% nicotine vape, and he did it, but it was hard on him. But this is the scrappy way we did it. And somehow it worked, in my mind, in my fantasy, we were going to have a lot more kills. There was going to be a lot more blood. There was going to be a lot more synchronicity with the music, but we got the bare minimum, but we got enough to make it to sell the fantasy. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what you need to do, is sell the story, tell the story however you can. So I'm glad that you appreciate what we did, because it was hard. It was really down to, I was like, I don't know that we're going to even have enough kills.
It's really hard. It's really hard because the second you're like, let's introduce blood, gags, stunts.
Oh my God.
You have gone from what could take you an hour to shoot to all day. You could spend all day on a gag and never get it. And then you it is you guys pulled it off. And like I said,
yep,
uniqueness that you've never seen before. And that to me is a feather in your cap that nobody can take away, because of all the years of zombies and all the versions we've seen of this, gunshots and this and that and everything. I've never seen a disco ball crush a zombie queen to death and glitter explode out of them. I love the curling iron thing because, again, I'm always looking at a curling iron. I'm like, yeah, we got to use this somehow, and you guys did it. That's great.
You guys did it before The Walking Dead. That's awesome.
Yes. The Chekhov's crossbow. The whole time I'm like, just shoot the crossbow. Chekhov's crossbow. They never.
Chekhov's crossbow. Oh my God.
To the last shot. Yeah, it was just too fun and defied expectations for me. And I've seen every zombie movie ever. I literally have seen it all. So you guys have fun and there's just being unique and giving people a good time. Well received. People, are other people having a good time with it?
I have to say, I'm pretty psyched that we make money at the box office? No.
Nobody does. Shh, that's a secret. Nobody makes any money anymore.
Did we break even? No. But I will say we haven't yet been panned in the press, and I'm very grateful for that. I was bracing myself for the worst, and I'm sure I haven't. I actually have made a choice to not read comments, like comments on the letterbox, comments on the Shutter. Like I decided for myself, I'm not going to even go there because I don't want to. It's my baby. I'm not ready for that. But the reviews, even the people who are soft on the movie and didn't really like it, they're like, wasn't for me, but it might be for you.
I think that's the thing, because camp cinema, camp films, invite you to have fun. And if it says you're not having fun, I guess you're not in the party. Yeah. And I think everybody's like, I want to be at this party, so have fun with us, or you can go outside with the zombie. Yeah.
That's what I've been saying is like, look, everyone's invited to the party, but you don't have to come if you don't want to come.
Yeah, you don't have to stay. Like, it's so good.
I honestly think you nailed the camp, because that's the thing with camp. It's so hard to get, and there's a lot of people who kind of misinterpret it, but you nailed it perfectly. It was fun, gory, silly. I laughed at a lot of the kind of gorier moments. And speaking of the music,
yes,
one needle drop. We talked to your composer, Martin from Blitz Berlin.
Oh my God, Martin from Blitz Berlin is one of my favorite humans. Blitz Berlin is incredible. They're so good at what they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were awesome. But he mentioned, and I heard it in the movie too, that there's a needle drop for Blow by Kesha. Huge hit back in the day. Is there like a cool story how you were able to use that? Like, did you get in touch with Kesha, or is there like a neat story behind that?
It's a story of me just reaching in we had to clear one song ahead of time because it's a lip sync and we needed to know what we were shooting and we needed to shoot it to playback. And so I made my little list. By the way, I wrote music cues into the script, which they advise you not to do, because to producers, it's just like money, 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 and it scares them away. I did that because I wanted producers to know that we need to save some money for music, because this is a music forward film. I am a DJ. My ego depends on there being some music in this movie. Did we have
It's a gay film too. You got to have like some pop divas in there.
It's a gay club film with a drag number at the beginning. Like, we have to have a piece of something.
A sacrilegious drag number at the beginning. Yeah.
Yes, baby. And of course we had nothing left over for music, of course. And we barely had anything to clear this song at the beginning. But so I made my little list of like, here are some 5 tracks that I think could work. And my criteria was like, it's drag. So what's a track that like maybe more than one generation will recognize, something that's a crowd pleaser, like, it, you've heard it, you might be able to sing along with it. And what's lyrically appropriate for the situation. And Blow was always at the top of my list. Like, I am a big fan of that Kesha era, and I'm a fan of the Kesha comeback too. But Blow was the one that just kept coming back to me. And I also was really excited by the idea of when we bring it back around for the bookend at the end. I loved the idea of doing like a ballady dark synth cover of Blow. I just thought it would be so interesting, broken down to a down tempo, and like the lyrics are silly, but they're appropriate. And so Maggie Phillips, a music supervisor who is far beyond our pay grade, agreed to work with us for like no money. And I can't thank her enough, because when you have a music supervisor who's as good as she is and who's connected, she knows how to get into Universal and like do the harassment and get the answers. And she was able to make that happen for us. She cleared Kesha as a cover track. Okay. So as a cover for 2 uses, at a price that we could manage. And then when it came back time to bake it all in, we had no money. But I was like beside myself, because what was on the table was the option of doing a Kesha sound-alike cover at the beginning. And I was like, it's homophobic to do a Kesha sound-alike cover at the beginning of this film. In the year of a Kesha comeback, it's homophobic. And I kicked and I screamed and I threw a tantrum. And then I called everybody that I knew and I raised more money. I begged and I got the money together I got like $50,000 together so that I could get my 4 needle drops And my foreign needle drops, which are Kesha, that was our MFN. Like nobody could cost more than Kesha. I think all in and I can't believe they said yes. They let us have Kesha, 2 uses. One's the cover at the end, and then the original Kesha at the beginning. And we were in for 50 grand. That was 50 grand for that.
Yeah.
And then we got Bizarre Inc. I'm Gonna Get You, my 90s darling in there. We got Let's Have a Kiki by the Scissor Sisters. And then we got Tomas Matos make an entrance. And I'm a happy girl. I have 4 needle drops, and the rest is Library and Blitz Berlin. And I feel like that works for me. I'm glad I have those 4. So, would I have liked to put like tons of crazy tracks in here? Yes, but Blitz Berlin knows how to give you the feeling of club throughout. Like they know how to do the nostalgic 80s synth, the analog synths that get you all emotional and make you feel.
And
then we said, that's my other favorite thing that we did together, is that with John Harrison's blessing, we sampled the fuck out of the Dead Suite. And it's my favorite Easter egg in the film is the auditory Easter egg of that.
I caught it right away. Yeah. Of course.
The fact that in the climax, the climax that we have a Kesha remix mashed up with the Dead Suite in a club setting. I feel like that captures the spirit of the movie.
It really is. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's Monsters Ball meets Night of the Living Dead, and you're just But
the cool story, just to put a punctuation on that, the cool story, and for any filmmakers listening, sometimes you have to just like cry and kick and scream and beg for money.
Music is expensive, guys. I don't think anybody realizes how hard it is to get a real.
No, I've heard stories where it's expensive to get. So
it's so expensive. I had Missy Elliott during the Unhinged dance party when Dre's like, fuck it, we're putting on the music.
Yeah.
I had Tempt in there for My People by Missy Elliott, which is like one of my favorite tracks to play ever. And it worked so well, but it was like, it came back at like over 200K.
God.
Oh, like, haha, that's cute. And so then we threw in there, it's actually Axe Wound, the dance track that Blitz Berlin made for me when I was like, can you just make me a happy, happy, happy person and I got an Axe Wound and make it a track. And then they did. And then my editor was like, I think this will work in place of Missy tempo wise. And it did. And it's great.
So good.
Awesome.
Yeah, the music, I mean, yeah, Blitz Berlin was a lot of fun to have on the show. Go check that one out, because we were talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night, and this, and
Queens of the Dead, Top Gun Maverick, which they did the trailer music for.
They did the trailer music for us too, and because IFC had cut together a trailer with a Princess Nokia track, which is amazing, but I was like, it's missing something special. I said, can we bring in Blitz Berlin instead? And they were like, yeah, I mean, let's do it. And Blitz Berlin, they're just so fucking good. They're so good. They're so good. Yeah.
And they love movies, which is why we like having them on the show, talking about movies. I got to ask about you, legend, Margaret Cho. You had so many, like, again, we could talk all night about your cast and never get past this.
Really. I know.
Margaret Cho, amazing. What a legend. Covered in rats.
Yeah.
How did you get Margaret Cho to agree to be covered in rats? Were they real rats? It looked like real rats. What's going on?
I remember talking to Margaret and I was like, okay, one more thing. How do you feel about rats? And she's an animal lover.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm in. She's like, I'm not, like, let's go, get me dirty, put me in the basement. That wasn't a basement. That was like a weird out shed that hadn't been cleaned in a decade and was disgusting. But when we were at this weird location, we found this shed, and upstairs this space was so creepy. I was like, this is the basement. Anyway, we had 3 live rats on set, and they show up, and they are the cutest, most like teeny weeny adorable cuddly rats who just would like crawl on Margaret and nuzzle up, and like they weren't giving zombie at all. They were just like these little happy friendly rats, and she couldn't be loud because it would scare them, and they were like they just wanted to like crawl into her pocket and do all this cute shit. And so we just had to shoot like it tight. We had a couple of puppet rats around. The one on her back is a big old fakey. And there's like I had a friend with a string trying to wiggle a rat across. Like we were really going for the puppeteering of it all. And I'm so happy you think that she was covered in real rats. She had a couple of rats on her, but at the end when she's on the ground, that's like, we didn't have VFX money to generate rats. So except the first one that she bats, but the on the floor, that's like from a pre-existing rat video that we just like cut out.
Them in, yeah. Well, don't feel bad. Walking Dead can't afford VFX rats either. I just went through a whole rat sequence, and I was like, you got to get real rats because you can't afford CGI rats. And so they came with a trash can full of rats, and they put the rats on top of the zombie puppet to be like, and the rats were like, I want to hide, and they like crawl under the puppet. Yeah. And people are like, can the rats do this? And the owner's like, no, the rats will do whatever they want. You can't. They're not actors. Yeah. The animal will do whatever it wants, and you will film it.
Like that. What's the first thing they tell you in film school? No animals, no babies.
You had both. You had zombie animals and a zombie baby. A puppet baby, I think.
It is a puppet made by Tom Savini and his team. That was my SOS call to them. I was like, please, you guys, I need your help. My producers want to use a real baby at 4 a.m. and I can't. And
you get, I think the time at 4 a.m. is you get 3 minutes, and then they got to be back in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 3 minutes on set.
And my feeling was, from the beginning, I was like, I would rather have charmingly bad practical effects than like shitty CGI. And the conceit of this movie is that, like, the spirit of this movie is like, yeah, it's a puppet. So what? It's like, I actually really like that it's a puppet. I love the creepy zombie baby puppet. And they, Tom and Jason Baker, his right-hand man, they made me this baby. And Mandy, who is the main mom bee, she is married to Jason, and so she was around when they were making it, and she had a fake arm on, and then in her other arm is inside the baby.
That's what's controlling the baby.
Yeah,
really?
And then we had actually behind her, there's another person on their knees, like with a stick that's like controlling the arm.
Rod puppet,
yeah. So it's a puppet, but we could not have handled a real live child. We just did not need that thrown into the mix.
No, it's always a mess. Babies, no babies, no animals. That's funny though, and I love to hear that that's from Tom. I mean, again, legend. He's the mayor.
He's the mayor. And we didn't shoot the mayor till far after, and I was like, "Who's the mayor? Who's the mayor?" And I was asking Tom, and I had to pull his leg a little bit, but he's ultimately said yes, and I'm so happy he did, because it's amazing to watch this film.
I loved him in it.
I love him too. I mean, his little laugh when he's like. We actually shot, that was scripted as that scene was supposed to be on a yacht, a getaway yacht, where the mayor is giving the broadcast and they hit a wave and the camera turns and like we see he's got these hot beach babes and they're getting the hell out of Dodge. The idea being that like he's saying stay put, but on his way out.
Yeah.
And we had absolutely no more budget to go shoot on a boat. And so we reconceived the idea to be this like Zoom call where like the fake background of the White House, and then someone comes in and I actually like it better. This is one of those instances where like the budget version is better than how it was scripted. I think it's hilarious that he's like zooming in with a fake background and like actually at an apocalypse party with a hot party girl who comes in with the drugs. I think it still gives what I wanted to give, which is like, you can't trust news. You can't trust politicians. You can't trust anyone they say you're supposed to trust, especially in a crisis. So
fun.
And I think the Zoom call made it funnier because it's so relevant too. Just the fake background.
Yeah.
So growing up around legends like Tom Savini, George Romero, growing up on some film sets. I mean, I've seen you in several movies, which is hysterical to be like, you were in Monkey Shines. Yeah. And are you a fan of horror? Is this a love letter to what you like? Is this a genre that you love? What is your feeling about horror movies and horror genre in general?
Of course, I'm a fan of horror. I have grown up around this stuff. I have such an affection for this genre. I describe myself as an edgy cheeseball. You know, like I am very much like a mashup of aesthetic inclinations. And like the way I like to describe it is that you may have heard me say this, but like I sat on a zombie's lap before I met a mall Santa. I would be watching Pippi Longstocking, Rainbow Bright, Bye Bye Birdie, West Side Story, all the cheesy shit by myself in my bedroom at night. And then I would go to the bathroom past like horrifying shit, like the Monkey Shines poster, Fluffy's bleeding crate, you know, and I would like walk a little faster past it. And so my world was really a mashup of dark and light. And my dad was actually, he made some dark movies, but he was a big, gentle giant. Like he was such a softie. Our number one thing that we did together was watch films. And he was so like easily would let himself be moved by things that moved him. And he would weep in front of me. He would weep at the overture that he loved. He would weep at the choreography of the camera in the West Side Story. And it really showed me the power of movies to move people. And I think my dad, he was such a softie for like classic cinema, but he ended up in the zombie pipeline. That's what people wanted him to do. And so I think that's why his movies feel special, because he was taking his big cheeseball heart and putting it into this genre. And his characters are so special. His dialogue is so like old timey. You know, there's schmaltz in there and heart and like classic storytelling alongside all of these crazy dark gags and kills and horrors of the world. And he was very political and he was very smart, and like all of this combined, you know, so I think makes his voice so unique. And where I differ from him is I'm like, I think I'm even more of a cheeseball. I think I'm more of an optimist. I think I'm more into pink. I'm more into glitter. I'm a homosexual. Like I want the jazz hands. I want the dance number. But I love the bloodshed, and I love like subtext that's dark and you know, I like sort of asking the questions about what's wrong with the world. And I think that horror and genre filmmaking in general it just gives you space to be more poetic, more weird, more yourself. And I love that about genre filmmaking. It's way more interesting. It's way more fun. It's way more aesthetically exciting. And yeah, so I do love horror. Absolutely. And I also love musicals.
Yeah. I love all that. I actually got to meet your father in college. Yeah, it was one of those like a special evening, and I was just like, and I got to sit right in the audience. We watched Night of the Living Dead. I got to ask questions. It was a very small group, but it was, you know, it's one of those unforgettable evenings where you get to meet a hero of yours that made movies that you love. So, you know, it is fantastic that and you definitely pick up on that. He definitely had a very sentimental side to things that were sweet. And I like that. Especially when it's like those movies are so gory and violent.
They have a lot of heart to them too, especially like Dawn of the Dead. Like, yeah, it's a zombie film, but it also deals with a lot of like race relations, kind of human relations. Day of the Dead, which deals with kind of like clash of personalities and clash of worldviews. That's one thing I love about your father's films. It's not just, you know, the zombies, it's also the human element that really elevate those films.
Yeah, take out the monster and they still are intriguing characters.
Yeah.
What were some of your inspirations, maybe for Queens of the Dead, but as far as like films, it doesn't have to be horror, but what are some of your cinematic inspirations that you go, that's what I'm really drawing from, that's what really makes me want to make movies, and that's what I'm trying to encapsulate when I turn on the camera?
Yeah. Well, some of the things that excited me most when I was like, I always loved films. I really wanted to go into film, even though my parents were like, please don't.
Yeah.
And I get it. Now that I'm getting older, I'm like, I see why you were this. This is hard. This is scary. There's no security. But there's also nothing like it. There's nothing like making a movie. There's nothing like the magic of being on a film set. It's incredible. It's a totally thing. But I was like, you know, I watched all the stuff with my dad. Again, West Side Story was a big first hit for me. Bye Bye Birdie. These early musicals for me, because I love dance. I love seeing dance on camera. And so when Baz Luhrmann came around with Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet. These movies, I was like, yes, because I was also very excited by the music videos of Michel Gondry, like everything by Michel Gondry. Yum yum yum. And Hedwig and the Angry Inch was one of my all-time, like when I was in high school and that came out, I was so excited by this film by John Cameron Mitchell, this rock opera musical. It felt like a different kind of narrative, different kind of storytelling, using music, but also like the wigs, the color, the vibrancy, the story of this character. I just was so excited by Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And so these are some of the, like the movies in the core of my heart for sure. I as a kid, I was on all of the Disney, I was on all that stuff. But then later in life, I got like a little bit more into my French cinema era. I was super into Godard, into Truffaut. I got my, like, I had to do that sort of hyper intellectual heady thing for a minute.
Sure, you got to, right?
And now I'm back on the schlock. My favorite genre in horror is the chomper. I can't get enough of animals just ravaging humans. I don't know what it is, but like whether we're talking Jurassic Park or all the Jurassic Park to Dangerous Animals and everything in between, I just want to see people getting devoured. Cocaine Bear was like my favorite film of 2022 or whatever that year that was.
I love Cocaine Bear, and when season 2 of Dead City had a bear attack, I was like, I'm calling up Weta, who did Cocaine Bear, and they made me my own zombie bear. So we got a bear.
From the same people that made Cocaine Bear?
From the same company that made Cocaine Bear. And here's how crazy it was.
That bear looked incredible.
It did.
That bear looked 20 times better than the snake in their most recent Anaconda.
Oh yeah.
Still haven't seen that, by the way.
The new Anaconda.
But Aaron, we can offline about it, but I want to hear your thoughts on that snake.
Snakes are hard. I'll just say that snakes are hard. I love the original Anaconda though. Like that's a great chompy movie. I love alligator movies. Like
Crawl is on top.
Yes, Crawl. Have you ever seen Burning Bright?
No.
Yes. Oh, see, this is my favorite thing to do is to find the rare movie that somebody hasn't seen. I get really excited. Burning Bright. Again, if you like schlock, I'm going to oversell the shit out of this movie, and you're going to watch it and be like, it is not as good as he played out, but pretty cool. It is a woman and her autistic younger brother trapped in a house during a hurricane with a tiger. Woo. And it is creep around the house while the tiger chases you. Deliciously well made in a way that I really thought it was good. And it's one of those movies that's super weird in a way that you're like, it's like two people and a tiger. And I think like their mean stepdad who locks the tiger in the house with them to try and collect the insurance money.
Is it a CGI tiger?
Huh?
Fake tiger? Real tiger?
It's a real tiger. No. But they did it all with split screens, glass in front of them. It's brilliant how they shot it. And watching it, you're just like, this is solid. And the actress, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
What's it called again?
Burning Bright. Tiger Burning Bright is a poem. That's I never understood that until later. But it is Brianna Evigan is the from Secret Garden, and Garrett Dill-Haunt is the stepfather. But yeah, Brianna Evigan is she does a great job. It's her running around being chased by this tiger, and they just did a great job. It's if you like animal attack movies like that, it's pretty solid. Mostly,
I'm gonna go see Primate on Saturday.
Doesn't that look fun?
I am too.
Yeah.
He sees everything. Yeah, Chase is our resident movieaholic. I have a 5-year-old, so it comes a few years down the road when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll watch it. But
exactly. Yeah, probably you've got a 5-year-old, so you have to keep your some of your programming 5-year-old appropriate.
Well, her favorite movie is Gremlins right now, so yeah, we're doing it. I was just telling Chase, I ran into Zach Galligan at the drugstore over break, and it was my most embarrassing celebrity meeting ever in my life because I didn't expect to run into him. So he sees me, and I'm like, and immediately, like, my face gave away that I recognized him, and he's like, yep. And I'm just like, oh, God. I blew it
so cute. Oh, I love it. I love that she's on Goonies, on Gremlins. You got to start them young. My dad did not believe in censorship, and I think I turned out okay.
I'm sort of on that. There's one part of Gremlins that I still fast forward, and it's not because of the violence; it's because of the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I was like, she could watch a gremlin blow up in the microwave, but if they ruin Santa Claus for her, I'm going to be.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh,
So,
I love that.
What was the first horror movie your dad introduced you to?
Honestly, I don't remember because I was so little, but I want to say like one of my earliest. My dad if it was on, I was going to watch it with him. Like there wasn't a lot of thought about, oh, maybe you shouldn't see this. But some of my earliest ones, like young, Close Encounters of the Third Kind is up there, and Jaws. Maybe unfortunately, I have such a fear of sharks. It's like a really deep physical fear, and yet in my heart, I'm like a surfer. I'm Moana. I'm drawn to the water, but I like get my toe in, and I'm like, nope. And I'm also like deeply in love with shark movies. I can't get enough.
What's your favorite? Jaws, obviously.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I gotta say, I really liked Dangerous Animals a lot.
Great movie.
That was so good. I loved how that was like they really mixed shark with serial killer horror.
Yeah, and they gave us what we wanted. Like, yes, dangle a girl in front of the ocean from that, and just those horrifying, the most horrifying scenario you can imagine. They gave it to us. And then they also gave us the great last kill. Is it my favorite? No, but I really, really like it. It's on my mind because I just watched it recently and I really liked it. I really like The Reef. I 47 Meters Down is not one that I like. I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood to watch it. But they did such a good job with I thought the suspense and the jumps in that were great.
Really uncomfortable to watch that one because it combines the darkness of deep water, which is God, terrifying, and sharks! Yay!
Sharks! Yay! Exactly. I mean, I just can't. I love shark movies, and I'm deeply terrified. And I think that's probably Jaws related at a young age.
What's your thoughts on Deep Blue Sea? Is that one you like, or
I think it's fun. You know what? Like, I think it's that. Yes, like jump out and swallow Samuel L. Jackson in one fell. Like, let's go. It's a little ridiculous. But that's okay. If I'm watching a shark movie, I'm okay with that. If the kills are good, and the chomps are there, I'm here for it.
Chomping. I love that. That's a fun.
That's actually one I showed to my partner. Actually, me and Aaron last year did a shark episode.
Huge
shark.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about Deep Blue Sea, and I collect a lot of Blu-rays and DVDs. And when we mentioned Deep Blue Sea, I was like, oh shit. I don't have that in my collection. So as we were on air, I was adding it to my Amazon cart.
On air, yeah.
And it came in, and I told my partner, I was like, you gotta watch this. He's like, this looks stupid. And we ended up watching it. He was just like, this is actually awesome.
It's delightfully stupid.
Modified sharks that can communicate. Yeah.
And swim backwards. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I could do. Don't get me started. We could talk shark films all day. I love. That's what I love about genres. There's so many subgenres, and every episode that Chase and I do, we build a list of really tight subgenres, oddly specific movies about melting, movies about sharks, movies, very specific things. What are the
melting? I want to see that list.
Melt movies? Yeah, there's not very many good ones, but there's a lot of melt. The Incredible Melting Man, Body Melt. There's a handful of them that are real gross. And we'll have.
Are you like a movie a day kind of guy? Do you watch a movie every day?
I try to.
I used to be, but this last year, it's funny. Everybody's putting out their letterbox lists, and they're like, my brother's like, I watched 236 films.
Wow.
I didn't have internet in my hotel, so I watched 30 movies last year, and I feel just deprived of cinema.
Yeah.
But I did see more movies in the theater than I normally see. I got to see Frankenstein in 35. I got to see I got my altercation at Weapons. I saw Silent Night, Deadly Night. I did get to go see movies with people, and that was exciting.
Well, that's the best. And actually, me too. I've had a really busy year, so I've also kind of had like I haven't watched as many movies as I normally would like to. But the ones I did watch, I did try to go to the theater a lot more this year. And it's just the best. It's like the best way to see a movie is in a room with people. And I hope that stays. I really hope that we don't lose that. I just saw some quote, Leonardo DiCaprio saying like, will movie theaters become like jazz bars, like obsolete sort of things of the past? I hope that that's not true.
He's going to the wrong jazz bars. I'm just saying, because jazz bars aren't obsolete because jazz is amazing.
Yeah.
I hope it becomes like a jazz bar where it's an elite group of people with eclectic taste all coming together for the same purpose, to get weird with it, have some laughs, have a drink or two, and enjoy art. Because I had one of the worst cinema going experiences of my life this year. No. I got in an altercation with some high school students.
That's what you meant by altercation at Weapons. Oh,
no, yeah. So they were being very rude, and I had them kicked out. I went out and just I handled it like an adult, and then I go outside and they chased me in their Jeep. And it was so it was very bizarre.
What did you just like?
I ran more than I'd run in the past 5 years. Just I put on my Terminator run and just.
I had the complete opposite Weapons experience. Me and my partner went immediately after we both got off from our respective jobs, straight to the theater, and everyone was quiet. Then I remember Aaron messaging me, he's like, I just got chased by a bunch of teenagers.
It's funny now, but yeah, at the time it was
that's a weird thing to happen after Weapons, when like the creepiest thing about that movie is the run.
Right. But that's how I ran. Doing my Naruto run. But the funniest thing is, somebody my age got stabbed at a weapons screening in Boston, and everybody's like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "Do I look stabbed to you?"
That sucks.
Yeah, so the movie theaters in Boston were a little bit rowdy. It was weird. So I don't know. Maybe a jazz club would be something I'd be more into. But I do love the collective experience, and I do love when people share those moments, whether it be a concert as a DJ. That moment where you have this symbiosis with the people around you and the experience you're having. That's really important because it makes us feel one, even though we're all different. When you're vibing to the movie, when you're vibing to the music, when you can just let go and enjoy and still feel like you're part of this group, that's an important thing that we don't get from our phones. I don't even have my phone with me, thank goodness. But we don't get that. We don't get that from this. And that's a big part of what your movie's showing, is like when you lose sight of it and you're lost in this, you're not one with the people around you. And I think that is such an important thing that I hope it doesn't go away. But also we need more movies that, when every movie is $1 billion tentpole film, it's not speaking to people the same way that a small movie like Queens of the Dead might.
No, I will.
To like when you look up, our family tradition, we go to the movies on Christmas every year, and this year the lineup was like not that exciting. And it's like the same big box movies with the same. It's something in the system is clearly broken. It seems like that's not the case. It's the case in like every industry, really. It's publishing, it's film, it's the government. It's all of it's broken. I don't have any good ideas about how to fix it, other than can we at least stop? Like, can we redistribute those budgets a little bit? Like, do we have to spend $45 million on Anaconda? Can we take that down to like I don't know, a cute 30, and then give a 15 million to like indie film? Like, why do we have to put all the money into a couple movies? Can't we spread it around a little bit more? Also we get distribution. How can we get distribution for these films? Doing the festival circuit was so fun this summer because I got to see so many dope movies that I hope that they get to see a screen. I hope. They're so good. They're so worthy. And people don't want to put out indie film. And it's like, I don't know why, but I think if there was more risk taken on these films, like given a proper release, people would go. I think people would go. to see small.
Now, one thing I thought was really cool about Queens of the Dead was that where a lot of these streaming services kind of want to suppress the theatrical experience. They want all eyes to go on their streaming service.
Yeah.
Queens of the Dead was picked up by Shudder, and Shudder for the last several years have been about the theatrical experiences. They've released Queens of the Dead, Late Night with the Devil, Clown in the Cornfield, all in theaters. And that's one thing I really appreciate about Shudder. And anytime I see a Shudder film is getting a theatrical release, I will go out of my way to go see it in theaters.
I love that you do that. Yeah.
Just because I love that it's a streaming service, but they're like, but we also still respect the theatrical release.
Yeah.
We also still respect the physical media release, which they still do. And whenever Queens of the Dead comes out, I will be adding that to my collection.
Oh, I hope we get one. I gotta keep asking and knocking and annoying them about it. But I really hope we get one. And independent film company and Shudder, they are so dope for this. They believe that all films should get a second in the spotlight on screen, and I love them for that. It is so cool. It is so, it's so cool. We got a little limited release. We got to be on 150 screens for a weekend, and that was a big deal. And it's sad to me that that's not the case for more films.
Right. And like you said, going on the festival circuit, you see so many films that are so deserving of a spotlight. I will always rally that, just make less films. Like when a movie that Katie was in, why am I blanking on the boxing movie? Christy.
Yeah. Christy.
That movie got made $6 million, and they're like, "Oh, box office failure." And I was like, "Wait. $6 million shouldn't be the failure. The fact that you spent $70 million on it
the problem.
Is the problem. Yeah. That movie is not a $40 million movie. It should be a $6 million movie, and then you made $6 million back, and hey, you did all right. You made your money. But when multiple combat sports movies were like The Rock's movie made $30 million, and they were like, fail, what a failure. And you're like, that should be great.
That should be great.
Yeah. But it was made on a $50 million budget, which even a bunch of my buddies were talking about seeing it, and we're in a group chat, and they were like, yeah, The Rock's new movie didn't do well weekend. It was $50 million budget. And I was like, why is it a $50 million budget? That's an A24 film. Usually they make their films for like $2 and a stick of chewing gum.
The Oscar award-winning film, The Wrestler, Mickey Rourke's. I was going to say Mickey Rooney. Completely, that would be a different movie. Mickey Rourke's The Wrestler. That was a $6 million movie, and it did gangbusters. And you can still make that movie for that amount of money. But we could talk about the failures of the film industry all night long. But
what if we make a rule? Okay, Hollywood, this year no movies can cost more than $10 million. Everything has to be made for $10 million. Let's see what you do.
Oh my gosh. And that's the A24 model. I think
it means that we can't pay Jennifer Lawrence her fee. And maybe that's okay. I love Jennifer Lawrence. I'm not saying anything against it, but I do think a bulk of these budgets are going to pay actors millions and millions and millions of dollars. And do they really need that? They'll probably, and this would, if we made the rule that no movie can be more than 10 mil, maybe it would wean out the people who really want to make movies and the people who are in it for the.
Plus there are such things as back end deals where they get a certain percentage of the box office. I was actually watching a thing where it said Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick took less than his usual salary up front to do it.
How gracious.
And he signed on just to get a portion of the box office. They said by the time the theatrical run was done, he walked out with $100 million paycheck. So
crazy.
Wow.
To kind of wrap things up full circle, I mean, Queens of the Dead is an amazing also piece of representation. And just wanted to hear your thoughts on that. What can the movie industry do to help with representation? And I had never seen a movie with drag queens in it until I went to college and I took a cinema class, a queer cinema class, and It was eye-opening. It was phenomenal. Yeah, Pink Flamingos. I love John Waters now. We watched Hedwig and the Angry Inch. You know, and that kind of stuff is it's important to show other people this, because you get characters like the plumber guy in your movie. Like, you get people like that who, if they see stuff like this, it's like you say, it might not be for them, but at the same time, they get to see what other people are thinking. And again, at the end of the day, if you're not having fun and dancing, well, then go outside. But your thoughts on representation, what the genre can do, what the industry can do to help have stories like this come out?
I think that it comes down to employing the queer creators. You know, if you have queer people behind the scenes, if you have queer people in the writing room, if you have them behind the camera, if you have them in the costume department, if you have them in the hair department, this movie was, I think it speaks to the community because we had a 98% queer production. Like, this was a gay crew. This is on camera. It is a story about the queer community coming together to survive something insane. And that was very much the case off screen too. And it's just like, there's no fighting spirit like the fighting spirit of the gays. And like, we were going to get this movie done and it was going to look good. And I just love that, like, these people go through this crazy night and like not a hair is out of place. Like, our hair and makeup team was small and mighty. We had 2 people on hair, and there is so much hair in this movie.
A lot of hair.
There's a lot of hair in this movie. And you know, I do think that that when you have queer voices doing the creating and not, you're not trying to like shove it down people's throats and you're not like, okay, Chrissy, for example, that is a queer story, but it feels extremely straight to me. That feels like a film that is coming from a straight filmmaker. And I think Christy Martin has an outstanding story, like a story that must be told. And I'm so happy that it is told. And I've heard that she's very happy with the film. And that is what matters at the end of the day. But if we're looking at it from the perspective of like telling queer stories, that doesn't feel like a queer told story to me. That feels like a straight told story about queer people. Whereas I think like if you want to have authentic queer voices, you've got to have the queer people doing it.
Well, and it not only did it feel like that, it also felt like it was trying to cash in on the audience that they thought would respect that movie.
Right. And that's it. You can feel when people are doing a cash in moment. And then I think there's something else about this film. Because we have such a spectrum, like we really have we've got the drag queens, we got the gay boys, we got the lesbians, we got the non-binary people. We kind of have everybody here. And I think what that did is nobody in the cast was tasked with carrying the weight of the entire community on their shoulders. Like from the beginning, I didn't want to do the trope where we have, your motley crew, your motley survival crew with your token gay. I wanted to flip the script and have everybody be a homo except for our one straight guy from Staten Island.
Token straight guy. Yeah, Barry.
Poor Barry didn't think he was going to be here on the night that the dead started to rise. But at the end of the day, he's kind of happy that he is. And his character was really important to me. That character of Barry was somebody who is based on my brother, number one, my own little brother. And he and I could not be on more different algorithms. Okay. We listen to very different podcasts. But I have had the experience of bringing him to a drag bar in Bushwick. And was he freaked out by what he saw in the bathroom? Yes. But was he excited by it at the end of the night? And has he requested to go back? Yes. His world was opened. And so much of what goes on is about so much of what goes on in the fighting and the attack of the gays are ruining everything and vice versa. It's a lack of understanding and a lack of experience and a lack of exposure more than it's really about homophobia. And I think, at least. And so I wanted to use Barry as a foil more than a villain. I didn't want him to be the first one dead. I didn't want him to be the super villain of the whole thing. I wanted him to be innocently condescending and sort of this voice of the outsider to the community who actually and it's not just him kind of pushing away the community. It's also the gays not being so friendly to him. It goes both ways. It takes two to tango. And I think so I think Barry is my surrogate for audience members who don't necessarily know this world at all, but also like an important and represent something important, which is like you've got to give people a chance. Give people a chance before you write them off.
If you don't give people a stepping stone, then you've already locked them outside to be eaten by the zombies, to become one of the zombies, right? Like, and you hit exactly what I wanted, where that question was going. You know, that is exactly the truth, and I think just meet more people. If you're afraid of something, if you're afraid of people, meet more of them, and then determine what your feelings are. Because at the end of the day, you just haven't met enough people. I mean,
and don't diss a community. Don't get all like on your high horse about how like shitty a community is before you've stepped foot inside of it. Don't because of what you read online. Like, don't trust what you see online. Go watch a drag show. Go talk to a trans person. Just meet people. Like you said, meet more people, talk to more people, do it in face to face. Like, get off your phone.
Get off your phone.
Throw your phone under a bus.
Yeah. And go to the movies. Go to independent movies. Go with your newfound friends to independent cinema and enjoy the popcorn together in the dark. It will be so fun, I promise. Tina, thank you. I love talking movies with people who are passionate about cinema. Thank you so much for coming on.
You guys are awesome. I can't wait to go listen to your Shark episode. I'm going to go listen to your Blitz Berlin episode and your Shark episode.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you too.
I'll send you the links to them.
Oh, amazing.
Where can people follow you? Plugs. What do you got going on? Where can people follow you? What's up next?
Well, you can follow me. I can't say that I'm the most active on the Instagram because I have such a love-hate relationship with the social media and the phone.
Same.
Tool. There's community, there's currency. It's necessary. I know, but I go back and forth with love, hating it. That being said, I do show up there. I'm a DJ Tricks, DJ_TRX. And I post, I've decided to keep it all one and the same. So I also post about if I'm DJing there too. If you, I'm DJing tomorrow night at the Parkside Lounge in the Lower East Side. If you want to come out there, that's Thursday. I think this is airing Saturday, so that will have already happened. But
get your time machine out. Go see Tina DJ.
I am. What's next? I really want to make another movie, and I hope that in a couple of months I will be able to tell you what that is. I've got a few pots on the burner. I'm trying to make one of them boil, and I think that that's the name of the game. Really, is like in this world, you got to kind of see what you can get to go, and
yeah. That's it. I mean, throw a million darts at the board. One of them will land eventually. All that fun, all those platitudes about knock on all the doors, hear all the no's. It's great. I really hope you get to do more stuff because I want to see more. I want to see more creative kills with curling.
Yeah. Okay. While I'm here, I should also talk about the Garf. For anyone listening, if you're a Romero fan, please check out the George A. Romero Foundation, fondly known as the Garf. We're doing a lot of work to help young filmmakers, preserving his legacy. We work with the University of Pittsburgh. His archive is actually at the University of Pittsburgh. You can go there and you can read drafts of Dawn of the Dead. You can go read scripts he never got done. You can see letters he wrote to Stephen King. You can see storyboards he drew for Pet Sematary. There's so much good shit there. And if you're interested in studying horror, that is really like, we're actually working with the University of Pittsburgh to make the very first official ever horror studies center. We are bringing horror into academia. If you are an academic and you want to focus on horror, the Horror Studies Center at the University of Pittsburgh will be an interdisciplinary center where you can go get your degree and you can take horror classes in Japanese horror. You can go over to the film department, do a little horror here, and you can kind of curate your horror curriculum. If I were going to school at a time when this existed, I would be a horror studies major.
I will volunteer to teach a class. I would seriously do a subgenre. Like I'll do an entire 4-hour lecture on shark films.
I'm gonna tell them that. Aaron.
Hit me up. I'm dead serious. If
Professor McLean.
I will absolutely, because I love sharing the genre. I love sharing weird movies. If I can tell somebody like, hey, have you ever seen this little movie? And they're like, no. I'm like, Yes.
Oh.
I'm so excited for you to see this crappy film that has one star on. Yeah.
My dad had that same energy you have. He would get so excited to like pass on a movie to someone. I love that you have that.
Even if it's terrible. Yeah. I will say, you say I never look at the reviews and stuff. I was like, your film is doing way better than most of the fare that I watch. So it's highly regarded. That is super fun. Yeah, and when you do find out what you're doing next, I hope you come back and talk to us about it.
Hell
yes.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. If you ever do a sequel to Queens of the Dead, can it be called Dawn of the Death Drop, please?
That's the best pitch title I've heard yet. Dawn of the Death Drop is Dawn of the Death Drop.
I have to say, it's during Nina's death, Nina West's death, when she goes, I finally nailed my death drop. I was like, Dawn of the Death Drop. That's gotta be it.
God, nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, that's super fun. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Oh, we got to do our pitches and stuff. I'm almost like signing off, like, oh, bye. Chase, plugs. What do we got? Let them know where we're at.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Tina, for coming on. I loved Queen of the Dead, watched it over the holidays. I hope to see more work from you. And your father has been a huge influence on my love for horror. Actually, when I first got my very first Amazon Prime account, one of the things I did was buy the Of the Dead trilogy.
Yes.
So these are like two of the oldest films in my collection that I like. I did upgrade though. I did manage to get the Light of the Living Dead Criterion, but and I also have Creepshow, which is a frequent rewatch at my house.
Classic.
Never gets
old. It was so. And please come back anytime. And it was a pleasure having you on. And you can see me here every Saturday with you, Aaron, on Half Hour of Horror. Follow all things Block of Horror, and my personal socials is at Oh Hey It's Chase on everything. I use probably Letterboxd and Instagram more. I don't really use X anymore.
Yeah. You should follow him on Letterboxd. He watches a lot of movies and has great insight on them. So we got to give away some blood coin. This is what we do every day. It's our in-world currency for the Block of Horror. The blood coin word this year is no brainer for me, Romero, in honor of our guest. So go open up a ticket in the Discord, type in the word Romero, and get yourself some blood coin and use it in the Block of Horror as we expand this year. We have some amazing things planned. All amazing stuff's coming up. We keep teasing it. The circus is coming to town. Clown Shoes is happening. Yeah, we have some games happening. The Block of Horror is getting bigger, so we're having a lot of fun there. And let's keep the conversation going on the Discord. And until next Saturday, I'm Aaron McLean. This has been the Half Hour Horror. We're out.
Woo.
Oh my God. So